Hello, welcome to the Executive Bite. My name is Kyle Rowland. Today I want to talk about psychological softness. That's right, you heard it, psychological softness. Now, one of the big ideas that's been floating around the professional space over the last few years has been the idea of psychological safety. And while psychological safety, the idea is not a terrible one, certainly we don't want to be creating an environment where people are struck with abject fear and are afraid to speak up and things like this. But really, a lot of times, the concept itself is used as an excuse to sort of promote softness in our folks. So if you look at a lot of the situations that the average engineering team deals with, they're really creative scenarios. They're scenarios where ideas are not clear cut, where there's a lot of room for interpretation and subjectivity. And in those kind of environments, it's really important to be able to have hard discussions, passionate discussions, energetic discussions without having to worry too much about stepping on the feelings or being overly conscious about walking on eggshells around any given individual. So speaking to leaders specifically, Jim Collins calls this out and shows that in his work that some of the best organizations out there really have violent disagreements before coming to terms with what they believe is their path forward. And so the same thing dramatically applies to software engineering teams. And so when we're supporting our folks, it's important that we're not undercutting their ability to have emotional fortitude and to deal with their peers in a strong way that where they can both listen and promote their own ideas. That's really a central part to hiring a creative like a software engineer, is that they are they do have the inherent strength to be able to carry their own positions forward, champion their own ideas. And so when we undercut this by sort of favoring the weaker person, we really don't do the individual any favors, and we don't do the team any favors, because it makes it more difficult for ideas to come out on the table. Really, there's a balance, obviously. Everybody's seen the bulldozer who carries through and just destroys everybody they come in contact with. So I'm not saying we promote that kind of behavior, but on the other hand, really some care in the balance between the two is really important. Your team should be able to have violent, hard, impassioned discussions about technical topics, whatever they may be, if they're tabs and spaces or something more substantive and important. They should be able to do that while also at the same time maintaining relationship and drilling into and finding a path forward. So again, as we're thinking about and supporting the kind of discussions that our teams are having, the kind of interactions that they're having, we should be careful not to overly emphasize in the name of psychological safety the weaker members of the team, but really both create a good environment, but also support them growing in strength to be able to better carry their ideas forward. So thank you. This has been the Executive Bite. My name's Kyle Rowland. Have a good day.